Bonjour! In this grammar presentation, you're going to learn how to ask basic questions. So remember that there are two main types of questions. The closed questions that you can answer with yes or no, for instance, do you study? And the open-ended questions you answer with information, with something else than yes or no. For instance, what do you study? Open-ended questions include interrogative words or expressions. So here's a list of common French interrogative words expressions that you have already learned or that you will learn later on. Qui, repeat, qui. Who, quoi, repeat, quoi. What, quand, repeat, quand. When, où, repeat, où. Where, comment, repeat, comment. How, combien, repeat, combien. How much or how many. Combien de temps? Repeat. Combien de temps? How long? Combien de fois? Repeat. Combien de fois? How many times? Pourquoi? Repeat. Pourquoi? Why? So remember that there are three ways of asking questions in French. You can use the intonation, tu habites où? So your voice rises, where do you live? You can use est-ce que, où est-ce que tu habites? Where do you live? Or you can use inversion, où habites-tu? Where do you live? There are subtle semantic and pragmatic differences between the three types of forming questions. And to some extent, they're also related to register. For instance, we tend to use intonation more with the informal colloquial register. We tend to use est-ce que with the standard register, and we tend to use inversion with a formal register in writing. Given that inversion is a bit tricky to master, today we're going to focus on the two most basic ways of asking questions, intonation and est-ce que, which should be sufficient for you to have a conversation. Let's start with intonation. So remember that for yes-no questions, you use the same word order as an assertive sentence, that is a sentence that is not a question, and then you raise your voice, intonation. Repeat after me. Tu es américain? Are you American? So literally it's like you're American, but it doesn't express surprise in French. It's a proper way of asking question. Same thing, repeat after me. Il parle français? Do you speak French? So here your voice phrases as well, and you literally say he speaks French, but it doesn't express surprise. This is a normal way of asking questions. With content questions, you use the same word order as an assertive sentence as well, and you add the interrogative word or expression after the verb or verb phrase. For instance, tu habites où? Repeat after me. Tu habites où? Where do you live? Literally, you say you live where? Il est né quand? Repeat after me. Il est né quand? When was he born? You literally say he was born when. Okay. Vous avez quel âge? Repeat after me. Vous avez quel âge? How old are you? Literally, you say you have what age? And finally, tu fais quoi dans la vie? Repeat after me. Tu fais quoi dans la vie? What do you do for a living? Or literally, you do what in the life? With est-ce, you also have two ways. With yes-no questions, you use the same word order as an assertive, that is a non-interrogative sentence, but you add est-ce at the beginning. Est-ce que tu es américaine? Meaning, are you American? So repeat after me. Est-ce que tu es américaine? Est-ce qu'il parle français? Repeat after me. Est-ce qu'il parle français? Meaning, does he speak French? So notice that the voice rises as well with ask yes/no questions. You're going to see that later in the PowerPoint presentation, in the video about intonation with questions. For content questions, you use the same word order as an assertive sentence, but you add the interrogative word at the beginning of the sentence, basically like in English, followed by est-ce que. So repeat after me. Où est-ce que tu habites? Where do you live? Okay, so où means where, and it's also at the beginning of the sentence like in English. Then repeat, quand est-ce qu'il est né? When was he born? Quel âge est-ce que vous avez? How old are you? Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans la vie? What do you do for a living? And you see that quoi here at the beginning of the sentence of the question become just QU apostrophe. Okay. All right. So note on spelling and pronunciations. Que becomes QU apostrophe before a vowel sound. So this is another example of elision. Repeat after me. Est-ce qu'il parle français? So here as well, you put an apostrophe instead of the E of que in front of a vowel sound. Then est-ce que is pronounced est-ce que. So repeat after me. Est-ce que. Okay, and then finally, the final D of quand is silent, but is pronounced as a T only when it is followed by est-ce que. Okay, so careful with that. You always say quand, never with a, you never pronounce the final D. However, when it's before est-ce que, you're going to say quand est-ce que. Repeat after me. Quand est-ce que. Application. Form an equivalent question using intonation if the question is with est-ce que, or est-ce que if the question uses intonation. You can now pause the video and do the application exercise. 1. Ils sont américains. Intonation question. Est-ce que question is est-ce qu'ils sont américains? Repeat after me. Est-ce qu'ils sont américains? Est-ce que tu parles chinois? Is an est-ce que question. So the inversion intonation question will be tu parles chinois? Repeat after me. Tu parles chinois? Tu habites où? Is an intonation question. So you're going to have to use the est-ce que equivalent. Repeat after me. Où est-ce que tu habites? Quand est-ce que tu es né? Is a ask a question. So you're going to use the intonation one. Repeat after me. Tu es né quand? Tu fais quoi dans la vie? Is an intonation question. So you're going to use the ask equivalent. Repeat after me. Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans la vie? So remember that with what, with est-ce que, you're going to start with qu'est-ce que. Okay. And finally, quel âge est-ce qu'elle a? Quel âge est-ce qu'elle a is an ask a question. So we're going to use the intonation one. Repeat after me. Elle a quel âge? Exercice 1. Entourez la question que vous entendez. Circle the questions you hear. 1. Qu'est-ce que tu étudies? Qu'est-ce que tu étudies? 2. Est-ce que tu étudies? Est-ce que tu étudies? 3. Est-ce que tu aimes? Est-ce que tu aimes? 4. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes? Qu'est-ce que tu aimes? 1 was qu'est-ce que tu étudies? Répétez. Qu'est-ce que tu étudies? 2. Est-ce que tu étudies? Répétez. Est-ce que tu étudies? 3. Est-ce que tu aimes? Répétez. Est-ce que tu aimes? 4. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes? Répétez. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes? Exercice 2. Écrivez les questions correspondantes. Write the corresponding questions. For instance, je parle français et anglais. I speak French and English. What languages do you speak? That would be like the corresponding questions. So with intonation, you're going to say tu parles quelle langue? Literally, you speak what languages. And with est-ce que, you're going to say quelle langue est-ce que tu parles? Literally, what languages is it that you speak? Okay, and I can now pause the video and do the exercise. 1. Elle est née en 2007. She was born in 2007. When was she born? With intonation, is going to be elle est née quand? She was born when? And with est-ce que, is going to be quand est-ce qu'elle est née? When is it that she was born, literally? Repeat after me. Elle est née quand? Quand est-ce qu'elle est née? 2. Le professeur habite à la Nouvelle-Orléans. The teacher lives in New Orleans. So the question is going to be, where does the teacher live? With intonation, is going to be le professeur habite où? Literally, the teacher lives where? And with est-ce que, is going to be où est-ce que le professeur habite? Literally, where is it that the teacher lives? Repeat after me. Le professeur habite où? Où est-ce que le professeur habite? 3. Il a 18 ans. Is 18 years old. So the question was going to be, how old is he? Which is in French, il a quel âge? And quel âge est-ce qu'il a? Remember, maybe from the vocabulary. Literally, il a quel âge means he has what age. And with est-ce que, literally, it means what age is it that he has? Repeat after me. Il a quel âge? Quel âge est-ce qu'il a? Les étudiantes parlent français et anglais. So here you have the students speak French and English. So the question is going to say, what languages do the students speak? So with the intonation, you're going to say, les étudiantes parlent quelle langue? Repeat after me. Les étudiantes parlent quelle langue? The students speak what languages? Which languages? And with est-ce que, it's going to be, quelle langue est-ce que les étudiantes parlent? Literally, what languages is it that the students speak? And if you have questions, feel free to write them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Au revoir!